But she's so sweet. My mom has been with Sprint for the last 70 years, you know. And she had like a little jitterbug flip phone thing, and it stopped working. So she took it into the store, and she's like, my phone's broken. And they were like, you dropped it. And she's like, I never, you know. And my mom didn't drop it. She keeps it like in her quilt purse, wrapped in a quilt, and another quilt. Yeah. Like the phone rings, and my mom's like, see you later. And no one's there. So she's like, well, how much is it to replace? And they're like, $200. And she's like, I paid $29. And they said, well, with a rebate and everything. And she goes, I need to go home and think about it. Which only a 63-year-old woman can do, you know? Just like spend 3 days without a phone just to figure out whether it's cost viable. Yeah. So she goes home and she calls me from the landline looking for some advice. And I was like, yeah, Mom, just figure out how much longer you have left, you know. On the plan, you monsters. So you don't have to pay to get out of it, you know. She's like, okay. So she calls them and they're like, we can answer that for you. We just need you to answer some security questions to get into your account. And my mom goes, okay. And Sprint goes, who was your childhood best friend? And my mom said, Margot. And Sprint said, no. And she goes, was it Gail? And they're like, no. She goes, oh my God, I don't know. Was it Trudy? And like, ma'am, you can really only answer this so many times once you think about it and give us a call back. So then my mom calls me again. She's like, this is bogus. And I was like, it is. And I got her all fired up, and I was like, screw Sprint, Mom. Screw Sprint. And she was like, don't cuss. And then she called Sprint, and she said, I'm going to be leaving your company. I'm going over to my daughter's company, AT&T. Like I own it. And they were like, we're sorry to hear that. Bleh. We're Sprint. And then my mom said, well, can I know who my childhood best friend is? Thank you guys so much. I'm Beth Stelling. Thank you.